North Carolina, Battleground state, had a record-breaking early voter turnout. 4.2 million people have already cast their ballot in person.
With North Carolina, I always got there because we won every race, every primary.
Donald Trump just a short time ago in Raleigh. Now, the Battleground state has not voted, in fact, for a Democrat since 2008. And Donald Trump won 2016, 2020. Harris is making a play for the state, shifting some resources to try and turn out the vote in black communities. Let's bring in our panel to discuss the state of the race. Joining us now, Chairman of CPAC, Matt Schlapp, and also the former Attorney General of Florida, former special advisor as well to Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, who has been on the Trump bus. Guys, great to see you both with us today.
You too, Bianca.
All right, I just want to touch base on what you're seeing from, the bus tour, your campaigning. You were actually in North Carolina. So tell us about the feeling, what people are saying right now, because obviously some of the polls were even saying the numbers may not have had, people saying they're with Donald Trump. There may be some interesting kind of things that aren't being reflected in those numbers.
Yeah, Bianca, I was with President Trump in Gastonia County and Greensboro, North Carolina on Saturday. Record numbers of people waiting outside who couldn't even get in. It was remarkable. And, just to remind you that of the absentee and early voting, North Carolina has done better in the history of the state now in this election. It's history-breaking numbers for early voting. And of the 13 counties that were hit hardest by the hurricane, those are the people coming out to vote. So that should speak volumes. There's no enthusiasm for the Democrats there. There's no enthusiasm for Kamala Harris. And especially black males, we're seeing more than ever, are coming out to vote for President Trump. The crowds were remarkable when we were there. It was just truly remarkable. They love Donald Trump in North Carolina and in every state.
You talked about the hurricane response. That's just one of the moments where people felt abandoned. But there's quite a few, Matt, and I know one of the newest Trump ads discuss that. And they're saying, the establishment, the leaders who have failed America, be it the hurricane, be it just the contempt when we hear Joe Biden call them garbage, when we see them, right, mocking Donald Trump for driving a garbage truck, for working a McDonald's shift. All of this is adding up to something quite unprecedented. Of course, it's Donald Trump, who is a very unique candidate, but it's more than just that. A lot of people are saying this is a referendum vote on the establishment, and Kamala Harris just keeps going out with celebrities.
Yeah, well, I want to say I'm very jealous of Pam because she's out there with Real Americans, and Mercy and I are in New York City. But the best thing about us being in New York City is here with Newsmax is that this is where we were in 2016. So if you're superstitious, I don't know if I am or not, we're doing the same thing we did in 2016. Look, I think Kamala Harris has lost the thread on why it makes sense for her to be in the White House. Everyone can see that she enjoys it. They always have a great time. When you're a Democrat in the White House, you're hanging out with all the movie stars. It's a blast. We get that she wants all the power, but we can't figure out what she'd do to help anything. She has no answer to any problem except if you're one of these radicals on abortion that don't want any limitations at any time, the most radical abortion laws in the whole world, no matter what kind of government you have. And so to me, the North Carolina example is perfect. You have these people in the in the western part of the state who had this terrible tragedy with the hurricane, terrible response from Biden and Harris. And I actually think you're going to see huge numbers on Election Day from those communities that were hard hit. They couldn't all get up back online. It's hard for them to vote early. I'm really pulling that the Republicans got low propensity voters in this early vote, and Election Day is going to be big for us. And I tell you, election night, stay tuned to Georgia and North Carolina. Because if we get good news out of those states, it's going to be a great evening.